was in automatic pilot. I was very much in my head. I was my worst enemy. This is not being home. This is not like, this is all the contrary. Being home is having that relationship with yourself, is having that relationship with the whole of life, that trust. Hi, I'm Jen from letithappencoaching.com, and I'm super happy to welcome you to my 5-video series, Journey Home series, part of the introduction to my new offering, Journey Home. This is to give you the opportunity to get to know myself a little bit better, also to share with you the main phases of my journey home, the key turning points, lessons, and through sharing an overview, because obviously I'm not like in 5 minutes, like in 5 videos being able to tell you my life and everything, but through my story, get my medicine, eventually that it can inspire you, that it can raise awareness if that needs to be, if that needs to happen. But really, yes, it's an introduction, if you don't know me, to my world and all the benefits that comes with sharing a little bit more of my personal journey, which I have not done very often. And also I would like to start aligning much more my business, let it happen offering with my personal journey, knowing that let it happen is my platform of transformation for freedom at all levels, and I would like to put much more up to speed the offering of Let It Happen, which so far have been mostly working with me one-on-one. So let's start. So really the first video is about, I haven't named it yet, but I'm gonna do it. But really what I put, it was unaware in my head, my worst enemy. Maybe I'm gonna name it that way, I'm not sure yet, but basically it's just the starting point before, like just before, you know, like the journey home started. Before that, I just want to say that my new offering, for example, is going to be 21 days of a self-study, but really it's much more than that. It's something you can revisit, you know, like such as your favorite book, and depending on your level of consciousness, you revisit it, you reread it, and suddenly you see something else, you understand something else. So you can, it's something that can really be with you as a basic, as a go-to if you need inspiration, basic, you know, principles, like remembering tools, or really getting into a container, an energy that I'm creating with that program, with that offering. So all of that to say that I've lost myself. Well, I would like this to be authentic. This is me, and anyway, so I remember what I wanted to say. Like basically, journey home is like, even if the program is 21 days, it's not like in 21 days you are home. It's a lifelong journey. It's it's diving like into life mysteries, is knowing how to navigate yourself, and basically coming back home, is feeling home within. So it's having that safe space, place that you can come back to anytime. And it's really not being attached as much as possible to the external. So it's not like seeking, and when I get that I will feel that way, or like because I have the boyfriend, the girlfriend, because I have the home, because like all those material, financial, 3D things. Wow, this is not coming home. Coming home is definitely like first you are so intimate with yourself. You know that you have that place that you can always come back no matter what happens in your life, in the world. You can be happy. You have all that you need within, the goal, the answers. Like it's a reconnection, a connection, and awareness with your potential. And it's really so potential slash possibilities, but really your power, yourself. So we are going to work on so many different levels, but just I wanted to say that because obviously even what I'm sharing now, even me, even if I'm doing that course, it's an ongoing process. It's a lifelong process, and also like staying home, because sometimes we're like out, we we forget and we remember, and we forget and we remember, and it's very important to be just clear on that it's a commitment. Being home, feeling home within, having that relationship with ourselves, yes, having the awareness of certain principles that can help, having tools, yes, this is definitely like life changing. Then it's a commitment with ourselves to remember to have that relationship with ourselves. Okay, so now let's start. So before my journey home started, which basically it was before I started to be pushed by life to see other things. So I was, the first part of my life, I was very much in automatic pilot. And when I say the first part of my life is like until 20 years old, like at least, because the first, like for nearly all my childhood and teenagehood, I did like artistic gymnastic. And even though it wasn't the right environment for me, that I didn't really like it, I wasn't fitting, so it wasn't the, definitely not like, why did you continue, Jen? Well, that's the thing, because I was in an environment that I knew, and I didn't question it until the time I quit, and from one day to another. But I was already 15, 16 years old when I started, when I was around like 6 years old. I don't have the exact date, but it has been many years. And this is what happened in our lives. It's like when we are used to do certain things, being in certain environments, we don't question them anymore. So because it was also artistic gymnastic, it was a very let's say hard relationship that I built with myself, because for you guys who know what is artistic gymnastic, is very disciplined sport. It's an individual sport, and basically we we weren't allowed to say I'm scared. It was like, oh, I believe it was like, it was, you need to do it, that's it. It was about perfection. From an early age, we are very educated of this is the way it rules, this is what you need to do, and it's about training, homework, going home, sleeping, school, training, homework, and this was like basically my, of course I went on holidays, but even on holidays I was training. So that was a very, like serious life, but also in an environment that wasn't, let's say, appropriate for me to flourish and to explore other things. So I'm a person that is very much, and now I can look back and connect the dots, obviously, but at that time, because I wasn't aware, so I was very unconscious of my personal power, obviously, because I was also very unaware of who I am, of my inner world, okay? And that means as well that that's what I was foreign to my emotions. I was completely in my head. I was my worst enemy. I was beating myself up. I was everything, it was a nightmare to be in my head. And at that time, I had no idea what it was: mindset, intuition, the universe. And I'm saying that, but deep down, like, I was asking myself so many questions that, yeah, but because it wasn't something mainstream, and I didn't know, no one really showed me, taught me at that time, and I was very much alone in my head. And on the outside, I kept smiling, and I was very much rejecting all the negatives. So I really pushed myself, and based as well on education you receive, there is a lot of things that are impacting and influencing the person you are today. Obviously, in my case, coming from a family of hard workers, very dynamic, positive. It was like, don't listen to yourself and just go, 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 and it's a bit like achievements are very important. So again, I can say that now with the level of awareness I have and connecting the dots from the past. At that time, I had no idea, okay? But all of that to say that I was very, always wanted to smile, always wanted to say I'm feeling good, I'm positive, but it wasn't the truth. So I wasn't honest with myself, and I was just not wanted to feel. And what I understand, and this is one of the biggest lessons I understood, is that if you don't want to feel the pain fully, you cannot feel the joy fully, because life is full of duality, and so everything, above, below, it's the sun, the rain, but I mean, you cannot have one without the other, and it's the same. You cannot just be one thing or feel one thing, okay? So what I want to say in this video is that also, because I was in automatic pilot, I was very much in my head, I was my worst enemy. First, it wasn't very nice to be in my shoes and in my body, even though no one was aware, because as I said, I was always smiling. But really, I was also in an attitude of very passive attitude of, I'm waiting for life, I'm waiting for a miracle, basically. When actually, when you come back home, you know that you are the miracle you are waiting for, okay? So it's really what I want to say in that video, and just to give you examples. So basically, at 20 years old, I didn't know who I was, and when I say who I am, is like, will we ever know completely? Because again, this is a life work discovery of peeling down the onion and just getting to your true self and light, and just understanding who you are and what you are part of. But what I want to say is that, because also based on my personality, I'm very flexible, I can adapt very quickly, I'm a chameleon. For me, it was very easy from a very early age to say, okay, I know I can, adapt, so let's just follow what the other person wants, and then I will follow. But because of that, I never asked myself, Jen, what do you want? Jen, do you really like that or don't? And because as well, I haven't really explored sentimentally, and also, because I was training a lot, so I didn't do many sport, or even instrument art, or just discovering who you are through experiences of life. Not that I had none, obviously, but it's just, not as much as like, that exploration that can really gives you many insights of I like that, I don't like that, etc. Me, I came at 20 years old of like not knowing what was my favorite meal, not knowing what was my favorite color. Basically, I didn't know who I was. So also, not just that I didn't ask myself what you want, but really I didn't want to, because I never knew what I wanted. So how frustrating is that? So all of that, and I'm going to give you two examples of what I was saying about not knowing myself and being in a passive waiting mode. So for one is sentimental. So with my first boyfriend, basically at some point I just asked myself many questions. I wasn't sure, if it was normal, not normal. But this is the thing, when you don't have any reference, it's very hard. It's the same with limits. How do you know your limits if you have not overcome them? So basically, and because I wasn't feeling, and because I always wanted to feel good, and I was scared, because I was scared of life. Basically, I was scared of life, very much in my head, in automatic pilot. So I felt that something was wrong, but there was like kind of like, no, I don't know the world, and I preferred to stay with him rather than taking the decision to leave him. So then he left me, and I was super relieved. And then I went through many other stages, but that's another story. But the thing is that, sometimes you stay in situations that are not good for you, such as the environment, for example, with the gym, longer than what it needed. With the work, I do remember I had that attitude of, they will see my potential and give me a promotion. So it was very passive, very waiting for, rather than taking responsibility and saying, well, I'm gonna actually show them what I'm worth, or ask for a promotion, taking the lead. So I was very, waiting for life to give me signals and because I was so scared, I was like, if I do that, it might like screw up, like whatever. And this is not being home. This is all the contrary. Being home is having that relationship with yourself, is having that relationship with the whole of life, that trust, and it's being responsible, is showing up for yourself, and then for others. It can be your family, your work, the world, whatever, but first is with yourself. And I'm gonna stop this video here now, because I don't want them to be too long. And the second one will be what has been my first turning point. And I'm gonna give you a hint. I went to the other side of the world. So that was my first turning point, but I would like to explain you how that happened. And then obviously like what the moment I was on the other side of the world, like how this like was also a catalyst for that journey home that started just, like the moment you are opening, nothing can never stay the same. And when I say opening, is when you start to rise your consciousness on certain things, when you see things different, when you start to have other perceptions, other information coming in, another level of awareness, consciousness, things really evolve. So this was for me as well, like what I wanted to say. And also that the fact that sometimes also when and I know, for example, that I'm a very sensitive person, and to just protect myself, I also shut down the emotion and went to the head. So all of that is can be coping mechanism, but it's important to raise our awareness on them, and so that we can gain a healthier relationship with ourselves, and that we gain harmony and peace, and obviously at the end of the day, fulfillment. So this is my first video, and that gives you a little taste of where I was and where I came from. Like, this is very broadly, obviously, to introduce you to my new offer of 21 days journey home. As I said, really a basic to build onto, something you can revisit. So it's not it will never get old in a way, because my intention is really to put the basic, the principles, and some like really like exercises, reflection, assessments that can really, every stage you are in, you know, of level of consciousness, the moment you revisit it, you can really take another view and gain even more from more insight from that, and also inspiration, reminders, etc. I want those videos to be very natural, authentic. I also want to you know, like, just putting that out there and be okay with not all being perfect, and hopefully it gives you as well like inspiration. I prefer, you know, I have been sometimes procrastinating, not procrastinating, but because I really wanted everything to, wow, at that stage that I am here at the moment, it's better to put it out there as it is, rather than having the title, the blah blah blah, the blah blah blah. This is not what matters. What matters is that my message arrives, that I can start sharing where I am at, and really, yes, connect with you. So you can message me, Jennifer@letithappencoaching.com. You can connect with me on Instagram. You can message me here if you have any question about this new offering or about the journey home. I'm gonna post it like next week, the second video. In the meantime, believe in yourself, to your success, let it happen.